Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Bagger Build. Today we're installing performance machine shifter, floorboards, and a back brake pedal. This is the Apex shifter. I love this thing, billet aluminum, great styling. Sells for about 150 bucks. Then we have the super light floorboards. These things are awesome. I love the shape, the black traction pad on top, nice sturdy finish with heavy duty hardware. These go for 449 bucks. Then we have the contour back brake pedal. Another nice billet piece. I love the styling, a little bit of traction rubber there. We're also putting on a set of RSD Chrono grips. These are made out of solid brass. They have nice traction Renthal rubber. Comes with all the things you need to mount them, little set screws, an Allen wrench. These grips go for 180 bucks. And what are we putting on today? This 2013 Street Glide. Some of the things we've done already to the bike is putting on a set of performance machine race weight wheels and a set of their brake discs, wheels front and back of course. We upgraded the stereo to the Sony 7000 using the Metra inner dash, which was a huge improvement. Along with the stereo, we also updated the fairing speakers to the 6.5-inch Rockford Fosgate, a Rockford Fosgate 400 watt amp, and the Rockford Fosgate 6x9 bag kit. For the front fairing, we went to something taller, the National Cycle, and ditched the stock mirrors for a set of performance machine mirrors. These are the funky foot controls we're getting rid of. Also doing away with the double toe shifter. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Then we are replacing the passenger pegs with a set of performance machine. These are the Apex passenger pegs. Nice finished piece. It's going to match the floorboards better. So we're going to start by removing the floorboards, of course. Now this first nut that I'm trying to loosen, it's actually stripped. I kept turning and turning and it just wasn't getting loose. So I'm like, okay, what's the alternative method? So now I'm just going to loosen up the brackets that hold the floorboards to the frame. The front bolt actually has a nut on the back side, so make sure you use a wrench back there. Also loosening those brackets helps get the bolts out of the floorboard where the floorboard mounts to the bracket. So like I said, I turned this nut forever and it's like, it's just not coming loose. So the best option was to remove the back bolt and just remove the whole assembly with the front bracket and then cut it off with a hacksaw. Go ahead and start the process of removing the back brake pedal and the master cylinder. It's a little bit tight, but just wiggle it out of there. Then we're going to remove the pedal from the master cylinder by just removing the cotter key. And this thing was so old, it just broke right off. Make sure you have a new one laying around. We're going to replace that. Don't lose that little washer there. Easy as that. I figured while I'm in here, I wanted to clean up some of these areas that are hard to get at. I just use a simple green and a microfiber towel. The new brake pedal does come with an O-ring. Go ahead and slide that on first. Then apply some anti-seize to that shaft because it just helps lubricate things. Stick the pin back in and install the new cotter key. What do they call those? Cotter keys, cotter pins. Make sure you bend the tabs of the cotter pin so the thing doesn't fall out. Now just install the new brake pedal using that washer came with the kit. Use a little blue Loctite for the bolts that hold on the back brake master cylinder. Then reattach your floorboard. Now let's tackle the left side. You can see these stock floorboards, they're just like some sort of stamped metal. They just don't seem very sturdy. Look at how much sturdier the performance machine unit looks. That'll also help take away some of the small vibrations in the bike. Obviously the first thing you want to do is remove the heel clicker shifter. Make sure you pull the bolt all the way because you won't be able to get it off if you don't. Then remove the toe shifter. while you have it apart, go ahead and clean up this area. Now I did go to the dealership and I bought all new nuts and bolts for the floorboards. They just kind of get wear and tear, and just good to have fresh ones, especially since one of them was stripped. Now you want to be careful with these nuts not to over tighten them, just get them nice and snug. Before installing the shifter, slide on the aluminum spacer. And then try to figure out the best position for your shifter. And then just tighten down your floorboard brackets. To change out the passenger pegs, you just need to take off this little clip here. I hate these clips. These ones here are very small and delicate. You're probably going to bend it, you know, when you get it off. Go ahead and tap out the pin. Now when you slide this thing off, note that there's a little bent piece of metal. It's like a spring tab. It's what allows the foot pegs to pivot but stay tight. So note the direction that that goes. You want to make sure you put that back in. Slide your pin back in. I just took the clip that I took off, straightened it out a little bit with some pliers, and just reused it. Now we're going to swap out these stock grips. Not a big fan of these grips. They're a little bit slippery. They're kind of bulky. So let's start with the throttle side. Just remove the two screws, one on the bottom, one on the top, that hold the housing together. Spread the housing apart. And I couldn't quite spread them apart far enough, so I decided to go ahead and loosen up the front brake master cylinder assembly. Actually, I just went ahead and removed it, get it out of the way. And with that done, the grip just slides right off. Now, see that little nylon piece on the end there? That's the throttle by wire. That actually engages with the inside of the handle grip. So there's really no perfect way. There's really no one way to slide this grip on. Just slide it on and make sure it engages that little white plastic piece and bolt your housing back on. Be careful with these two little screws. Like I said, they're small. They're going into delicate material. Do not over tighten those screws. You'll strip them out. Then just reattach your front brake assembly. For the clutch side, I went ahead and popped the cap off the end. Not sure if it's necessary. Remove the two screws that hold the housing on and slide the grip on off. I didn't even have to loosen up the clutch assembly. Before you put the grip back on, go ahead and tighten that housing back up. These RSD grips are held on with two little set screws, so you can really put the grip in any position you want. Make sure you Loctite these two screws and get them nice and snug, otherwise your grip will come loose. Snug down the housing and the grip's done. Now, as you saw earlier, the grips come with these cool little inserts. You can use plain ones or the ones with the little RSD logo. Now, I really do like this shifter. It's got a big round knob there with the rubber on there for traction. The floorboards, there's tons of foot space. You can see how much bigger they are than the stock ones. I did a long ride and I noticed I can put my feet way forward. I can bring my feet way back now because I don't have the double shifter on there blocking the space. The heavy duty design, you know, transmits less vibration into your feet. Back brake pedal's awesome. It looks great. It's got a big wide pedal there with the rubber on it for traction, so your foot's not slipping off while braking. Love it. Passenger pegs are great. They look good. They're tight. They don't vibrate. They go up and down easily. Great fit. Perfect. Now these handle grips surprised me. I didn't realize how bulky the stock handle grips were until I put on these RSD grips. It made hanging onto the bike much easier. The Renthal rubber on there is a great addition for hanging onto your bike. Love the styling of these grips. They did make a huge difference in riding. Overall, super stoked with everything we did to the bike today to improve it. Much better style, much better performance. So make sure you go check out those guys' websites, get your own for whatever Harley you ride. See you guys next episode.